Alright, hey there Ghost, this is Will with another Ghost Recon Breakpoint video, and we've got a little bit better audio quality. We're recording through a Blue Yeti right now. I wanted to pick one of these up for some really quick and easy audio work outside of, using my whole studio setup. This just makes things a little easier for me and gets you a little bit better voice quality. So, let us get started. Today we are reviewing a DMR. We are reviewing the SVD-63. Now, just to show you what I've got it equipped with while I write this down. SVD. So, standard setup. The only, interest... Oh, actually, I got the wrong scope on. I'm glad I looked. Oh, no, I don't. That's right. So, we're going to go ahead and use the... This one cannot equip the T5XI. I forgot about that. So we're going with the dual range sight, since that is the other common scope used on these rifles. And let's see here, just making some quick notes. So, standard suppressor, standard mag, rangefinder, because it can't equip an MAWL, and then dual range sight. So, yeah, let's, that was interesting. Where was it placing that rangefinder sitting back there? Weird. Alright, whatever. I don't actually see it on the rifle. So, anyways, let's go ahead and confirm that. Yeah, alright, so it doesn't appear to actually render the dang thing on the rifle, but that's no big deal. It's purely cosmetic. But, like all of our sniper rifle and DMR reviews, we are starting out with ranging first, and so let's get this started. Alright. Now, you'll know that the SVD is actually pretty darn good on the bullet drop department. As you can see, that's not bad. 400 meters, that's pretty good. That's actually, if I remember right, that is the best for a DMR in the game so far that I've tested. Now, of course, they could release new DMRs and everything else down the road, but until then, this DMR has the best bullet drop. Still, doesn't mean I'm a huge fan, because bullet drop isn't everything, but it's just an important thing to note. So now we are going to do the next part of our testing, which is detection range. And we're going to try and get to a good spot to practice on these guys here. And like always, we're going to start out unsuppressed. Let's get our target marked. Alright, so we got to get much further away from these guys. Because standard unsuppressed detection range is 194 meters. We're basically confirming that this matches up with just about every other DMR. And we're actually going to take these guys out here. There we go. So, we just wanted to clear a spot and get us away from all the other bad guys. There we go. So, okay. We're going to start out here at about 197. And we're going to... freaking helicopters. Alright. And we're back after dealing with a whole bunch of crappy people way too close. So we are going to start our unsuppressed sound detection range tests. Here, after I get that vehicle out of my view here. There we go. Alright, so yeah, that's what we'd expect. 197. Of course, that vehicle behind me heard. Wonderful. 196, nothing. 195, and then 194. Yep, and it is just standard. 194 meters like always. Nothing special of note there. Of course, that vehicle is going to come down here. We're switching to this. There we go. Alright, so now we get to test suppressed. This is the other one. The other thing we test. So, let me scroll this down. 194. Okay. Oh, mercy. Alright, Ghosts, we are ready to start shooting again. Alright. So, we're going to start out at 55 meters, just to be safe here. This is suppress testing with the SVD-63. So let's start taking our shots. We're at 55, firing, no response. 54, no response. 53, no response. 52, no response. 51, no response. And on it goes. Where we will end up, nobody knows, because I actually have not done this yet. Well, someone else may have, but they are not me, and no one has shared that video with me, or the information in general. So, alright, 44. We're actually going to move around here to get onto the other side of this guy. Behind him. It'll be a little easier to do this sneakily if we're behind him. 43. Oh, there we go. So, alright. 43 suppressed. That is actually pretty poor. That is really not good. Just a quick check here at my paperwork. Yeah, that is actually the worst thus far suppressed. So, where does that leave us now? That leaves us with damage testing. Alright, so let us go to the damage testing location here at Dead Horse Swamp and figure out just how much damage does an SVD do. We've actually done this previous testing. However, you may remember that this has changed for some rifles by usually one shot, but still, it has changed. So we still want to perform this test, especially now that I've got, 250 gear score, just to, so we can say, look, that's not a part of the equation at all, and it really hasn't been at all, but just for posterity's sake, we're going to do that. Now you'll note that this rifle, the only stat bonus that really matters in our testing is range, which this does not have any sort of boost on. I'm going to move this vehicle over here just for ease of shooting, because I like this spot here. It does have a handling boost, so take that in mind when we're comparing the rifles after we do this test. But, alright, this is the SVD versus the Landscape Mark II damage testing. Let us begin. Okay. And you know how I said there was no significant difference? That was a significant difference. Okay, so far this seems right here. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. It is consistent. This was a whole nother rifle. 24 shots. So this has changed. Let's head back to the bivouac here and talk about what this means. While I'm heading back, you will see the updated comparison chart. It seems like I've had to update this every time now. And of course I will be updating it for every subsequent video as well, because I've now covered all the DMRs that I reviewed previously. And so we will be venturing into new territory from now on. More surprises, or lack thereof, I guess. I don't know. But anyways, let's talk about this. The SVD is... it's a fair middling rifle. It's got great range. Its damage is improved. Its rate of fire is decent. But it's a little lacking in some areas. You know, you're limited in what you can attach to it. You can't use a T5XI, which is okay for a DMR. You don't have to use a T5XI. But really, there's only 2 scopes that are useful in this game right now. However, thank goodness the digital scope is going to have variable zoom. They announced that in the most recent patch notes. They are finally bringing that into the game. Now, if they would only do it to the other scopes that have a description that say, oh, this has variable zoom. But anyway, prattling on, the SVD is 24 damage versus 29 for the G28. I think it was 29. It's 29, 28, something around that for the G28. Scorpio Scout Quiet does more damage. Like, 24 shots, I should say. I keep saying 24 damage. It takes 24 shots versus the 19 of the Scorpio Scout Quiet. And then even the Scorpio Scout is 10. With a great rate of fire and better attachment options. And decent bullet drop. That is the one strength of the SVD, is its bullet drop. It has really, really nice bullet drop. Its recoil pattern sucks, though. I mean, the way the scope flies back, it just doesn't feel right compared to others. You know, let's just look at that. Look. Well, let's go and switch. The way it flies back and bounces, it's just that feels awkward to me. Let's look at the stats here. Now, this one has high handling and range. Let's switch back to my other one that only has high handling and compare it to some other rifles here. Ignoring the handling for the most part, unless we've got one here. This one has high handling too. Really, I mean, I just can't recommend it. You know, okay, let's compare. Rate of fire is slower than Scorpio Scout. Reload time is slower than Scorpio Scout. Now, it does have a higher mag count, but that doesn't matter. It's not that great of a rifle. In fact, its reload time is almost on par with the TAC 50, which is sad. So you kind of need those extra 5 rounds, especially considering its damage is not as good. So yeah, it's a rifle that does not stack up. Its only pro is its bullet drop, as you saw on the chart. But that a great DMR does not make. In fact, for a DMR, the bullet drop is less important, because there are very rare instances where you'll be using it for extreme range. Unless you're playing, like me, a Panther class. In that case, a Scorpio Scout, the Scorpio Scout works really well because of its damage profile. And of course, another important thing to keep in mind, with the bullet drop, even though it's got the best bullet drop, it can't equip the best longest range scope, the T5XI. Now, you can of course play with, for instance, the dual range scope. You'll know from my playtime in Wildlands and my praising of the Mark 14 with the G28 scope, which is the same scope. You know, you don't have to have the longest range scope to shoot long range. You just have to have a good scope that you're comfortable with using, and you can easily match up on the markers with. You know, but really matching up on the markers on the scope is less of an option in Breakpoint, because they've changed bullet drop and scope functionality to where, you know, for instance, I use a T5XI on Scorpio Scout Quiet I've got with the boost in range and the ballistic advantage and max in-game range. I don't even hit the first marker on the scope. But still, I'm rambling. I cannot recommend the SVD-63, and so if I had to choose between it and the FRF, I would choose the SVD in a heartbeat. If I had to choose between it and the G36C, I would probably choose the SVD. If I had to choose between it and the Scorpio Scout Quiet, which you know I don't like, I would choose the Scorpio Scout Quiet. So, yeah, this is probably, in my opinion, as compared to the rest of the testing we've done, the third worst DMR. But ultimately, it's all about what rifle you like. And if you like the SVD, go ahead and keep using it. There's nothing wrong with that. If you're comfortable using it, you're comfortable with recoil pattern, handling, scope sway, all of that, keep using it. Because really, you can use just about any weapon in this game effectively. Now, I say just about, you know, the FRF is the exception in my mind. It is just not a useful rifle. So, yeah. Alright, Ghosts, that is what I got for you. And just a quick update from my previous housekeeping video. We are doing the Sniper, Stealth, and Recon gameplay dedicated news site. I have already started working on it. We've got the branding design done. And so we're working out plans for content and mocking up the site layout and things like that before we start in on code. So I will announce its launch here on this channel and will be plugging it in the future alongside ClassicWFL.com, home for Will Leffert, music, art, photography, blogs, t-shirts, and all sorts of crap. Go check it out today, ClassicWFL.com. Alright, so thanks for watching, Ghost. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all of that junk. And our next DMR will be the AKA's the AK Scout variant, whatever it's called, the DMR conversion rifle of the AK. And so that will be a brand new one that I have not covered at all. And so you'll be interested to see what it has. And that's all I got for you.